But the only things that will come to the forefront are the things that white people would also be interested in. If this is something that they're not also interested in, it ain't coming to the forefront at all. Period. And that sucks because it is Black culture, not
Mhm.
mixed culture.
And they
So
definitely
why does their input
influence our
matter?
culture a lot.
You know?
The thing is though, like it was acceptable back in the day. Like Wu-Tang's albums were for us,
Mm-hmm.
but they got mainstream. That's the thing. Stop trying to reach out
Mm,
to the white people. Start doing
yeah,
stuff for us.
That
Stop trying to
yeah.
appeal to them. Just do stuff for us, and they will still like it.
But that's the thing, money. That's why I always say money, the influence.
it's
Like
like I want to.
it's
I be
because
hearing,
they
I be
know
hearing
the white
artists say,
people bring the dollars or whatever the
I be
fuck.
hearing
Or
rappers say this all the time. My music is not just only for Black people. Where if I
it
become a
should be.
rapper,
Sorry,
my music is for Black people. That's it.
I'm gonna say it should be. I'm gonna
I
step
make
out the
this.
line.
I make
I'll
it
be
for
the
my
villain.
niggas. I make it for the niggas. I make it
I'll be a
for
Any
villain.
the
I'll be
any
a
blackest of
villain.
blacks.
any art I do, my writing, my
Everything.
music,
Black people.
my
Yes,
podcast, it's
It's
for Black people
all
4 times
for
anyway.
Black people.
If white people like it,
Why you
cool,
watching?
but it's not for y'all.
You
exactly.
shouldn't
But
even have an
it's
opinion
not
about what's going on because it ain't for you.
exactly like I said. I'll be the villain. I'll tell it. It is for us. It's all. It should be. All yes,
Exactly.
it should. I don't even care.
It
Villainize
should.
me all y'all like. I don't care.
We
Like I,
started all of
my
it.
main
Honestly,
audience,
all of the genres.
hmm
Exactly. Try to listen
Black
to music before
culture.
our influence. The music in like the
Bro, they could not
1800s, it was
sing.
so bad. It
Bro,
was so
and
bad.
not
Dog.
even just all the way back then, bro. The Cindy Loppers,
Right.
those type, they could not sing.
Oh hell yeah, of course not. Cyndi Lauper, as much as everybody's
It was this
people
white
a
woman
lot.
in the comments talking about so Cindy Lauper has a beautiful voice.
Where?
Girl, shut up.
How?
Please don't, white
Girl,
woman.
shut up. Y'all could not
I love her
sing.
music, but no.
Same. I listened to it. And that's because it was there. That's all that was
Exactly.
there.
Let us truly
Every
imagine
every
what
movie that you watch.
let's truly imagine what girls just want to have fun would sound like if it was sung by like Whitney Houston or like anybody Black. Like that would crank so
Bro,
hard.
Whitney would kill girls
Cindy
just want to
Kill it.
Lauper
have
had
fun.
like a half of octave range.
Right. Right.
She is.
She
When I
stuck to the
be
little
going
notes
back
that she
and
was
listen,
comfortable with.
when I be going back and listening to them songs, I be like, these people could not sing.
But the kill is that this is what made the final cut though. Like
Yeah. These people could
could you
literally
could
not
you imagine the
sing.
You
terrible
notice
shit?
though, that's why when you get a white boy that can really sing like that, they
You
get
be like,
all the praise, like
Yep.
a
that's why
Or
Rodney
a
we love.
white
King,
boy
Why
who
you
or
think black
or a
people
white
love
boy who could
Adele,
dance.
Justin Timberlake, Adele, Sam
right?
Smith? Why you think we like them? Maroon
Exactly.
5.
Or a white person that can dance. It's like, oh shit, they got rhythm. Oh, like let's not forget the whole renegade chat. Like, don't even get me started with that because I will literally curse up a storm. How dare that little white girl take something created by a Black girl, make it so big they don't even know it's her that made it. Like how, and you
They
were
do
out here
that all the
making
time on
money.
TikTok. That's why
That
whenever I see them do a little
a
transition, I ain't
dance,
tagging nobody. I don't
none.
care who made it.
And that's
I'm
why
using it.
I
I ain't
fucked with
tagging nobody.
that's why I fucked with who is it? Megan didn't put her music out or didn't make it danceable. Y'all saw how them white people was dancing to for what song was it that she
Savage.
didn't? Yeah, and they fucking did not Savage. It was the one that she intentionally didn't make like a dance for.
Oh, the other
And
one.
what is it called? Shit.
On TikTok, black people just stopped creating
Yeah,
dances for
and
a
it was one
while, and the white people just was
and one of her songs
lost.
they were trying to create dances for it, and what they came up with was utter garbage.
It
And
it,
everybody was like, "Yo, what is that?
it reminded
Ew."
me of that old infomercial with that white lady who was trying to like teach people hip
This
hop
hip
dances.
hop,
This
this
is
right
hip
there is
hop.
hip hop. When you sag your pants like that, this is
Hold
hip
on.
hop.
What are y'all talking
That's
about? I
hip
need to
hop,
see
bro.
this.
Bob's Burger did a freaking thing on her. Like that
There,
joke was
Yo, what is
hilarious.
Send it to me.
I
it
Y'all
was
need
gotta
to
show
send
you,
it.
hilarious.
bro. I
He's
feel
like
like I showed y'all it
everything in hip hop is
before.
down
Nah.
low
I
like
gotta
this.
send it back.
Send it to
Saying
me
like
because what
this,
the hell
that's
are y'all
hip
talking about?
hop.
That shit sounds terrible. What?
Sagging pants, that's hip hop. She kept saying it. It's like,
She
bro,
kept
no,
saying it
it's
like
not.
everything with hip hop is down low like this.
When
She
you
was
move
dead
like this,
serious.
that's hip hop.
Oh
Saying
hell.
like this,
You're a white woman. You will.
that's
Sorry, I
hip
know this
hop.
is like. Oh, we have time for story time or no?
Oh, we about to get right into story
Oh,
time.
okay, go
That's
ahead.
the next segment.
All right,
Oh,
yeah.
well, before to how I feel like we can shift the
Mhm.
to make it more positive, but like you said, Shay, I don't think it's gonna change. But if we wanted to change, I think we have to stop making hip hop. Yes, it's a part of the culture. Yes, it changed a lot of things. It gave us opportunities, but now it's not helping a lot. It's impacting us more negatively. Let's leave it where it's at. Let's find something else to put on the pedestal and keep it moving. Let hip hop be the entertainment. Like, when we want to just let loose and have fun, you don't want to think about nothing. That's that. But I feel like we need to create we need to create like I would say another movement that does not include the entertainment industry, if that makes sense. If we want people to represent us, we want people to look up to, we need to look to something else. For instance, the activists. Why are we not putting them on the pedestal? Why are we not like once upon a time when we used to do that? Why are we not looking to them to lead us? There are still people out there fighting for us and stuff like that. Where these rappers and stuff, when they get this money, they know they're no longer a part of our community. You've heard a lot of them say this.
Yep.
You've heard a lot of them say this. They don't want to talk about those issues.
Made me think about Doug when they asked him in an interview. I remember the interview. It was like, say, ask him a political question. I don't get into all that. I'm a rock star, and walked off. Like,
yeah, they don't want that responsibility that y'all are putting on them. We need to stop looking to them to lead us. We need to stop looking to them for inspiration, influence. I get it. They do show us a different way of how things could be. If we follow that route, they show us these things, but it's time to leave them where they are. They've done what they were supposed to do. They're still going to do it. We're still going to be influenced by the fashion and the art and all of these things. However, they do not need to be in the forefront of the Black community anymore. We need something else. We need to leave them where they are.
A lot of voices that are influencers that need to be put to the forefront, like the Conscious Lees of the world. Conscious Lees that are intelligent Black. There's so many of them that are.
I love Conscious Lee.
Exactly. Me too. Exactly. We need to back these people, support them, and push them like we do these rappers. We do. I feel like hip hop has served its purpose. I'm not saying that I feel like it should end or they should stop. I'm not saying that. I love music. I love hip hop. I love everything that it's brought to the Black community and to culture, period. I love it. However, it is time to let it go. Push something else to the forefront, and we follow that example, because it's people, and not just people who are out here speaking. They have solutions to a lot of problems that we have. They just don't have the support.
Exactly.
And we need to start supporting them. We keep complaining about things. We keep saying how we want things to change. We have people. I've listened to RZA Islam, like you said, the Conscious Lees.
Right.
Amanda, what her last name is, I forgot. Sales.
Yeah.
Her. People like that have solutions to a lot of the problems that we have. We need to start supporting them. And even the crazy Charleston White, like he said, because kind of the person who said that need to happen, that we just need to leave them niggas, like, y'all put them niggas on the pedestal, we need to stop. I know that his way of doing things is very
and who's that girl
radical.
who does parking lot, the ones on the parking lot rants or something? I forgot what her name is.
I don't know.
But she's very good on speaking on issues. Like,
we have a lot of people. We just need to start supporting them and backing them and stop putting these rappers on a pedestal.
Yeah.
They don't belong there. They're not influencing our community positively
especially
anymore.
When they don't deserve to be. They are not doing anything good for us.
Right.
We're not pushing the culture forward at all. So
he took his money and he brought a trucking company. And
how does that help us exactly?
How does that help us? And the nigga still killed people. He killed people still. Why do I care about a trucking company?
Right.
But I think that's the solution. Like, that's one. Do I think it's gonna happen? No. That's why Charleston White exists, because he is angry. He is mad at y'all because he was out here fighting for us, and y'all are putting these niggas on the pedestal.
He a wild nigga.
He acting like them niggas.
He a wild nigga.
A wild nigga. But he be right sometimes.
I don't know who that is. Y'all gotta.
He be right sometimes.
I don't agree with everything he did, because when he just disrespected.
I don't agree with everything now.
Nip, I was just like, come on, man.
What he said?
I need to know who this man is.
I gotta tell me who he is. It was something. I gotta find the clip. When I find it, I'm gonna send it to you. It was like real disrespectful to him and Lauren London.
Oh, why?
Yeah, he do that because that's the way that people are gonna pay attention. He said that's why he do it.
Oh, I know. It was like
because behind the scenes, he really out here fighting for us. But this is what gets the attention, like we said, the negativity. So that's why he does it. I wouldn't do. I don't care if people not listening to me. I would never do that to get attention. Yeah. Especially if I'm able to do things behind the scenes. I don't necessarily need the recognition in public. I don't care. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing to contribute to the community. I don't care nothing about whether y'all looking at me or not, or whether I'm on a pedestal or not. I wouldn't care, but that's why people do that. Like I was saying, the music. Y&J said he used to do conscious rap at first, but the stuff that he do now is what gets pushed.
Let's go back and listen to Kodak before he was popping. That meme with a guy in the backseat looking back or whatever, that's Kodak before he blew up. And like he rapped like intelligent before. I don't know what happened. Like he could actually rap.
The same thing that always be happening. Like people be getting fed up like with stuff. It's like, I'm doing this, but I'm not making it what I gotta do. And then you get with you sign them deals and stuff, and it's like, you gotta change up everything. We gonna sign you, but you gotta change everything. You gotta be this.
Changing nothing.
Me either. Me either. But now we can move on to the story time segment. Do any of you have a story of a time you were negatively influenced by hip hop culture, and how did you handle it?
I don't think I have one. I need more time to think. I don't think I have one though.
So like I've said before on here, I'm from California, so I was sheltered growing up from a lot of the gang culture. Like so much so that I had cousins that were active gang members, and I didn't even know what they were. I didn't even know what the gang was that they were a part of. I didn't know nothing about Crips or Bloods or anything. So when I turned 16 and I started to get introduced to more things, and I started to learn about the gang culture, the hip hop gang and the gang culture were related a lot of the time. And so it influenced me to say things. I was starting to fall in love with hip hop. So it influenced me to say things that were not part of who I was.
Right.
So I started rapping and everything, and I'm doing a freestyle rap, and I was noticing I was talking about guns, and I never had one. So I would do a freestyle or whatever. I'm shooting with 4.5s, and then You know, it sounded cool, but
Right.
I started to mature and ask myself, why am I doing that though?
Right.
Like I'm better than all these niggas that rap like that.
Because
So I could.
baby,
Mm.
pity with the double D's on the what they be saying, it's played out, bro.
That was one that you sent
Man.
me
It's played out,
the one of
bro.
the Wild and Out bars or whatever. Like
Yes, it is played. Hang it up. I'm
so
tired of the titties being on the guns.
You said what?
Tired of it.
so I just realized I stepped into myself more with hip hop, and I'm like, this is my lane, and I can swerve into your lane as far as like doing a beat like that or something like that, but I'm still gonna stick to what I do well, and I do it better than you. So
Exactly.
and I'm gonna
Right,
battle you and destroy you, and then that's what's up.
right.
They rely
Um,
on them gun bars
Oh, they really.
heavy.
no
Oh yeah.
facts. It's like, oh, I don't really have I wouldn't say I really have a moment where it negatively impacted me per se, but I remember growing up, and I being I'm not gonna say that um that I wasn't aware of, hip hop culture or, rap. Me personally, I'm not really a rap fan. Like I like certain artists and things like that, but I'm not really I know that hip hop culture is not primarily just music. I understand that. But if we're using that as an example, I'm not really like a rap person. I don't listen to rap often. But I remember, you know, my cousin, he like growing up, we watched a lot of what's the thing called? Forgot what the YouTube channel was called, but it was Donald Glover and his team of people. He was literally the only black person that was part of it's called Derek Comedy.
Mm.
So Derek Comedy is basically, like I said, it was Donald Glover and a couple of other white kids. He it was he was with Bobby Moynihan. I don't know if y'all know who he is. He's a white comedian, and there's some other white kids there that he made, sketches with on YouTube. So, I was very interested in it. It was really funny. The humor was different. And then I remember my cousin telling me, he was like, you know Donald Glover, you know him? And I was like, yeah, 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 because we always used to watch their comedy together. So I was like, yeah. He was like, he's a rapper, right? And I was like, the first thing I thought, especially, having being exposed to actors that became rappers, like, or, part of the rap thing. And I noticed that it wasn't actors that became rappers weren't usually good. So I was so skeptical. I was like, yo, what do you nah, nah, nah. He was like, listen to him, dog. I promise you, listen to him. You're not gonna regret it. Not I kept denying him. Like I was like, no, I'm not gonna listen to the shit. I'm not listening to it. Period. And so one of the sketches, he made a song for one of the sketches because apparently he was making he he turned one of the sketches into a movie um called The Mystery Team. So the sketch became a movie and it was called Mystery Team. And he made a song, or he debuted as um as a rapper with that song. And I listened to it and I fell in love with it. Because the reason why I was skeptical, especially because of Donald Glover, his voice isn't necessarily what the typical masculine person sounds like. He was, for lack of better words, he was a geek, he was a nerd, he was weird. So I was like, knowing what rap or what I thought rap was, I didn't think that, that he could have rapped and I would have liked it. I was like, but I listened to this song, and even with his geeky sounding voice, the bars in it were incredible. And, his rap name is Childish Gambino. So I literally became a fan of Childish Gambino right then and there. And I went into his catalog. Like I said, that song for Mystery Team was the first song he ever released. And then I started, digging, and I noticed that he made albums called, Poindexter, or I Am Just a Rapper Part 1 and 2. He put another album was called Cul-de-sac. And I don't know if you're picking up on, the connection here, but all of those titles have are basically the essence or a peek at what his rap was about. It was about him, and he's a suburban kid. He grew up in he was born in California, grew up in ATL, and like I said, we look at Donald Glover, he's not your typical manly person. He's not what you would consider a rapper. He was a suburban kid, lived the average, quote unquote, average life, normal little suburban kid life. And so he basically had the persona that not many rappers have. Because again, we were talking about, the selling drugs and the, gun life and all that stuff. So he rapped about being a suburban kid and not being black enough and not being, but he like not being black enough for the black kids, but being too black for the white kids. And that shit when I say it hit my soul, and that was the moment I gained passion for rap. Like, cause I found a rapper that I not only I can relate to, but like laid bars down heavy. Like he was the first person that made me realize that it's okay. I'm about to get emotional. That it's okay to be me, that being from the suburbs is okay. Like, even though you're from the suburbs and you don't live that hood life, you still are black and you should be considered black. And that again, I don't know how many times I said it on this podcast, but black people are not a monolith. He showed me that. And that shit really like it sits with me to this day, that it's okay to be me. And, when I would listen to it around other black kids rather than listen to like Jay-Z or whoever, T.I. or whoever was hot at the time, even, Drake, even though he's not who we know people clown him for not being part of that life. But anyway, because I wasn't listening to them, or like Lil Wayne, because I wasn't listening to them, they were like, that's not real rap, and that's garbage. He doesn't even sound cool. Like, people clown the shit out of me, but I'm like, this man is laying bars down heavy. Like, I can't like, his shit was so phenomenal,
They
and
didn't
it sucked.
understand it. That's why they said that.
They
They
didn't get
always
it.
say that when they don't get it.
They
It's
didn't get it
he's
at all. And I said, give this one album a listen. Cul-de-sac. If you've never heard it, please go and listen to it. Like, give it a one run through. You will never skip one song. Like, he really spoke on his experience, and his experience being a suburban kid, uh, uh, a kid that wasn't black enough. Like, between that album and his first, because he was rapping under, he would all of his mixtapes up until his camp album. All of those uh albums before that were free. That was before he was signed. When he was signed and he released Camp, Camp is also one of literally the best rap albums I've ever heard. That was the one that had I don't know if you can't remember what song he God, I can't remember what the song was, but he made a video for it anyway. But like, yo, when when I say I put people onto this man, like I rode or died for this man, like, because all my friends, or for the most part, we were all suburban kids. We were all, kids that weren't seen as black enough. but I remember like suggesting it to people that I deemed or that had, more of a hood lifestyle or grew up in the hood. I suggested that album to them or his music in general, and they would come back to me and be like, yo, this man has fucking bars. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he may not live the same life that you do, but this man has talent. And just because he doesn't sound the way you think a rapper should sound does not mean he's not talented. So I guess that situation being what it was, I guess how I responded to it was to just keep trying to. I don't want to sound like I'm out here like forcing people like, what, listen to it or die. Like, no, but I would literally like please, I would beg them. I'm like, if you want me to be there and listen to it with you, I'll do it. But I really need you to see this. So I guess that was my resolution to it, like just pushing them to give it a chance. And they started giving, I've had people come to me and tell me things like, yo, like I see another side of rap because you introduced that man to me. Or like they give people like um Logic a chance, and they give people who are not necessarily speaking on that
Lil
gang life
Dicky.
or gut exactly.
Cause that
They're
one
giving the
song that he had, Save That Money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I be having to go back and listen to that joint. He was like,
or what was that song that he made with Chris Brown? Nigga, nigga, nigga. I was like,
that was a Freaky
Freaky
Friday.
Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
but like I appreciate that they come to me and they're like, yo, I give rap a chance now. Like I give music in general a chance now. I don't just wave it off because it might not be my style. Like, and it warms my heart to hear because I'm like, it, low key, I'm like when Donald Glover puts in his songs that, you know, what did he say? He said um that you putting people on or something, or they coming on to me later, some shit like that. I'm like, yeah, I was the one. I was the one. I was the one that put y'all on, yo. Like
I know
but
I
I know
don't like
you
putting people on.
I
have you heard
love it.
his
I don't.
sway in the morning freestyle?
Nah. And I
You,
I
you got
always I follow him to the like
it was like
mm,
7, 8 years ago, and that's the first
mhm,
time I seen somebody. He was talking normal to them, like
mhm.
just talking normal, like a normal conversation, and just went right into him rapping. Like it was like the transition. Like I still can't find the transition from him talking to him starting to rap. It was so tight. It was just like, so yeah, we like to do such and such, right? To do it, and then he just started rap like, oh, this.
I like my passion for his music. Like that's why I'm so obsessed with him. Like because again, he showed me that it's okay to be me. Like because growing up, I was always he like with my Nigerian heritage, I'll be honest, like I barely have a black card. I'll be honest with y'all. Growing up, I didn't get to watch like Fresh Prince, or I didn't get to watch, a different world. I didn't start watching that stuff until I was well into my teens. I didn't grow up with it because again, when this is back when, and I hate to admit this, but Nigerian y'all Nigerian Americans who are my age, y'all know what I'm talking about. When your parents first come to this country, we had a beef with African American people, specifically because you know they didn't think that it was either, oh, look at the Africans, let's not forget African booty scratcher, that will always hit me uh in a bad way. I hated that shit. But like people thinking that we're dirty, people think that we live in huts and we were beneath them. So when my parents arrived, they had a they had a negative influence not only on me, but they had a negative mindset about black people, about African Americans. So I didn't grow up watching the black media. I didn't grow up watching Martin. I didn't grow up. I grew up watching Seinfeld. Like I grew up watching all the white things because there was that bias in my household. So I always felt either not African enough for the Africans or not black enough for the black Americans, and I was still too black for the white people. So I never felt like I fit in anywhere. But he let me know, like his music let me know, hey yo, it's okay to be you. You're good enough, you know, as is. It doesn't matter where you come from. You don't got to pretend to be something that you're not. So that really heavily like sat with me, and that's why like once I heard that first rap that he did for Mystery Team, I fell in love because I felt a connection. Like I was always the weird kid, but he let me know like, yo, it's okay to be weird. It's okay to like anime and watch cartoons and be interested in white media. It's okay. You're still black. Like I could go on and on, but I'm gonna leave it there.
I was sitting here trying to think if I had a story time. I don't really have a story time. I am more of an R&B girl, but
Mm.
lately I have been listening to a lot rap and stuff. But I did grow up listening to a lot of rap because I was around men all the time. So dad did influence what type of rap I listen to, like what. So I do listen to a lot of the hood stuff, a lot of the drug dealers and stuff like that, because that's what I heard growing up. Like, because I grew up around a lot of men. Like I was influenced by my stepdad, my music influence, my stepdad, and my uncles. I'll say, because them niggas thought that they were Bone Thugs and Harmony. Never rapped the lyric, but they were them niggas. They were
Boom,
both,
boom, boom, boom,
but they were
boom,
both thugs in
boom,
Harmony.
boom, boom,
Ain't
boom.
never
Tell
rapped
me what
nothing.
you gonna do. All right, sorry.
They swear, but most of like the what I gravitate towards is definitely influenced by that, because I
Mm.
grew up around men, and so they listen to a lot of the hard stuff, the Jay-Z, Lil Boosie, the T.I.s and people like that. So I
Right.
do gravitate towards stuff like that, but does it influence me? No, because I know it's entertainment. And honestly, I'm not really a person that's influenced by things. I
Yeah,
reject
I
I
respect
reject
that.
it. I reject it first. Anything that's brought to me, I'm
Yeah.
like, I
You're
reject it
skeptical.
first.
Yep.
And then I come around to it on my own. Like I'm
I
not
like that.
accepting nothing nobody brings to me. You can show me whatever. No, I'm gonna figure it out.
That's
If I like it, I'm gonna find my way to it.
that's one
How I
quality I
am.
love about you. I love that nobody can tell you nothing and you're just gonna go along with it and be like, yeah, okay. No, you
Right.
do your research. You heavily do your research and you think for yourself. And I really do appreciate that about you. Like
Yeah.
it's very respectable. I love it. I wish I could be more like it. Like, but there are sometimes where I'm just like, somebody could tell me something. I'm like, okay, like so I just gotta I gotta be double thinking. Like I gotta really like, sit and think sometimes and reevaluate sometimes. But yeah,
I
that's one
think the
quality
reason
I
why I'm like
genuinely
that though is because I grew up in the hood, and
mm,
I just sit and watch people be influenced by things and what it did to them, like how they would
mm,
act around certain
mm,
people, how certain things that they would do, that when they were with me it would be different than when they were with other people, when other people was around, and I just kind of watch what it did to people. So I'm like, oh, I'm not
mm.
about
there,
to
there,
like that.
there, there's some people that have to go run into the wall to learn their lesson. You can see somebody else
Facts.
run into the wall and be like, I'm not.
Yeah,
shit,
I'm
excuse
good on
Jesus,
that.
my
Like I'm
bad.
good. That's dumb.
Right.
I'm gonna stay
Right.
over
It's
here.
like, oh shit, that nigga got hit. Oh nah. Like,
Exactly. That's exactly how I'm gonna look. I'm gonna analyze it first. I ain't
yeah.
about to do nothing until I decide if it's for me or not.
Right.
I'm a, like you said, do my research. I'm gonna analyze it. I'm gonna watch people do it in real time, and I make the decision whether it's for me or not. But I'm not just about to accept anything. And also, it's just about perception too, the way that I perceive things. Because I never was the like, even as a little kid, I never was like, I'm not following nobody. I'm gonna just be in my own little bubble, in my own little corner or whatever. I can't really say why. I just kind of was like that. But
That's a good quality for leadership. Like you have very very great leadership qualities because you're not willing to just jump on the bandwagon. Like
right,
people that really does like that would influence people to yeah to to follow your lead per se, you know, because you're not one to just go aimlessly into what anyone says or does. Like that within itself is a quality of good leadership to me. But yeah, I do appreciate that about you. Go ahead. Sorry.
it's cool. I got it. But I feel like people, the reason why they are influenced because people just want to belong. Like they want to feel like they fit in somewhere or whatever. And that's a thing because society makes you feel like you have to. So more people are going to be influenced. And I'm not going to say that it's a bad thing. It's just, you just have to be careful about what you're influenced by, what you accept from people and just things because and I think too, you have to have a strong sense of self. You have to know who you are.
Yeah. Because groupthink is very dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Very,
Very dangerous. And I
very
think it's
dangerous.
because society, I know it's human nature to want to be around people, but society makes it seem like if you don't got nobody, loneliness is terrible. Lonely, like just
Yeah,
because you're alone does not mean that you're lonely.
right,
And I want people to know that, like, for I know this is so off topic, but like my mom, she's a very family oriented, you know, and she's more family oriented than people who actually do have family because she's a solo child. She's a only child. And, you know, she is envious of people who have siblings. So she's always fighting for togetherness and all of that things. But that like so loneliness or being alone because she sees me for example and I don't really go out like that or I'm not one to just be out here in the streets, you know, hanging out with anybody. You know, I stay home
right.
most of the time, and she thinks that that's such a bad thing. Like she's like, you never go out, I'm worried for you, like where you don't have friends, where are you gonna. I was like, mom, I have friends, I just don't go out with them. Then how can you call that friendship if you're not going? Mom, they're there when I need them. I don't need to go out and have drinks with them to know that they're going to be there for me or I'm going to be there for them. Like she's so fearful of me being by myself. Like she has such a phobia and fear of being alone or being by herself. Like she really thinks that because you're alone, because you're solo, you're lonely, and that could be a detriment to your life as a whole. Like, no, just because you're solo does not mean that you're lonely. It's okay to be alone because people who are scared to be alone, that could be their own detriment where you land yourself in a group of people that are not meant for you or that are dangerous or lead you or don't really want what's best for you. And, you know, you got to be very perceptive about that. But
It
yeah,
makes you
that,
more
that was such a
susceptible.
random.
It's not random. It goes along with the topic. It definitely does. We
I,
talking about influence, so it's not random at all.
Yeah.
I
So
think
And I
she has a phobia. Like when I say a phobia, like when we have these conversations, or when she and I had these conversations, because even prior to my relationship with Damien, she was very scared. Like, oh my God, you're gonna be alone. You're not gonna have anybody who's gonna be there for you. And I'm like, Mom, it's okay. I'm okay being single. It's okay. And even when I broke up with him, she's very fearful, like, oh, now you're gonna go back to being alone. Oh. And she like legit, when I say cried, she cried for my loss of my relationship more than I did. Like she cried like it was her man that she lost. I was just like, hey, yo, lady, it's gonna be okay. I'm okay. I'm not gonna. I was like, she was like, what are you gonna do now? What are you? Oh, and I was like, Mom, it's time for me to focus on myself, and I need to reevaluate my life and where I want to go and how I want to achieve what I want to achieve, and I need to do that alone. But you can do that with somebody. No, you can't. Not as effectively anyway.
oh my
right.
God.
So, but she really like she said that's one of her biggest fears is for me to end up by myself or for me to be by myself forever. And I'm like, it's
I think
okay.
it's a fear of people, period. But I think that's the thing too. If you have a fear of being alone, you are more susceptible to be influenced by other people. I came
Especially
out
the
of my
wrong
mama's
ones.
vagina not caring about nobody. She started having other kids. I'm
Mhm.
like, I guess like them niggas can stay. I guess they
I
are
had
hype, I guess.
I
Oh,
can
I
re-
don't.
I can relate to you a whole lot, Shay, because I was that kid too that grew up, suburban, like, but I was hood adjacent because I had family
Mm,
from the hood, and like we were
hood
always there at their
adjacent. I
house.
like that.
So, but I grew up loving, Corn, Limp Bizkit, you know, uh,
Mm,
Yes.
like Linkin Park, these rock
Oh,
mhm.
bands, and I did
yeah.
not care what people thought about it. I'm just as black as you. I'm still gonna
Right.
listen to
Exactly.
it. I'm gonna
Actually,
turn
you
that.
blacker than
Exactly.
them because
Is
that's black. That is
exactly
rock was
Exactly.
black
Rock is created by
by
us.
black,
Like,
right?
right. I was like, turn it off. No, I
nope.
Mhm.
like this. And then like people like ride it with me. People were like, you will get the whole spectrum of music. I might be
Yeah.
playing Metallica right now, System of a Down. Then I'm gonna go into
Mm-hmm.
some Snoop Dogg, and after that,
Read it and right.
I'm gonna go into
Yeah.
some R&B
Probably
like.
the blackest thing I've ever heard.
I love me some Coheed and Cambria. Mm, I love them. But yeah, it's like I remember I was listening to oh, what was I listening? It was Linkin Park. No, it was Evanescence. It was
Yeah.
Going Under. And I played that because I was going through some shit. So I played it on blast. And it was like, I'm going. Like
I
I was
love
going,
Evanescence,
yes.
bro.
So when
Yeah, I
I was
got that
playing
too.
it,
You
when
act
I was
like
playing
you act
it,
white. Like you always doing white stuff.
right,
Like and you lame.
Right,
right.
you
You
lame,
talking
When I
exactly.
about?
was when I was playing it and I was blasting it, both my parents busted into my door. They were like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Like I was like, "Yeah, I'm just listening to music." Oh, ew, what kind of music is that? That type of music is scary. I'm like, bruh, hey, ma'am, sir, y'all
Bro,
need to get out of my
Evanescence
room.
is that's like gospel. That's gospel.
Yes,
That's gospel music, brother.
man. What is her name? Is it Emily? Amy. Oh, Amy, I love her. The best vocalist, one of the best vocalists out there. Like Evanescence really is. Whoo, that was my them her Evanescence and Linkin Park were my two groups growing up. Like, oh man. But yeah, they were really
But the
scared for my
crazy thing
different.
about that, every single black person has a white band or some song that they really
Mhm.
love, and to like try to make people feel other black people feel less than because we're not ashamed of it is
Mm.
crazy. Because every
And,
Facts.
single one
and,
of us know at least one that we
and
really
Everybody
like.
got that
and
white
that's
song that come on, and they gonna
but
sit
Everybody,
there and sing it with
yeah,
their whole heart.
but but
everybody.
but what's crazy though? That's back in the day when Jay-Z did that collab with Linkin Park. That was literally
Oh,
the best thing that could have happened to both audiences. Like people who
I
didn't,
love
because to be
that
honest,
song.
I'm gonna be real, and this might, take away my black card, but Linkin
Girl.
Park introduced me to Jay-Z for real. Cause like I used to listen to Jay-Z songs like that came on the radio and shit, but I didn't know, you know,
My
his music
stepdad
for
loved
real.
him. Like that's all my
So
stepdad listened to.
I didn't really listen to Jay-Z, but when they did that collab album, that really introduced me to Jay-Z. And like going back to what I was saying, like it introduced to black audiences, it introduced them to Linkin Park. And especially with the Numb Encore song. Yo,
Yeah.
it introduced black audiences to Linkin Park, and it introduced white audiences, if they didn't already know who Jay-Z was, it introduced them to him. Like that shit was perfect.
I gotta give
Oh, it was
credit
beautiful.
to Limp Bizkit too for collaborating with Method Man and Redman back in the day
Yo,
too.
I
Like
didn't know.
that was
Yes,
in Together Now. It's like still one of my favorite songs of all
I
time.
don't
Like
remember
yes.
if I remember that.
Oh, I
like
gotta go back and listen to that. Thank you for pulling out. Yes. Okay. But yeah. Mm. Hip hop
But
culture really is it really is a heavy influence on culture. This is going back to the whole full
it
circle.
definitely
It
does.
influences culture in general. Like we make we make everything
It
and we
Exactly.
make it
does.
good.
And then the power too. You can tell the power that it has with what's pushed. It tells us
Exactly.
that we got power, we just don't use it. Because
Exactly.
like y'all said, groupthink. If this person like it, I like it too. That
Right.
person like it, I like it too. Or such and such, listen to this person. Oh, I like it. They don't even be knowing the lyrics. When
Exactly.
those singers, those huge singers and stuff, be listening to them people, they don't even be knowing the lyrics. They be mouthing the wrong lyrics.
Right.
Can you imagine being a kid from this generation though and trying to listen to hip hop and trying to like fit in with them? I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
but
just like,
wouldn't know
listen,
where. Yeah.
how is this
But
cool
like,
though?
listen to what that junk stunner said. I ain't a rapper. I'll turn this feature into a stick up. If I would have heard, if I would have heard that when I was younger, like, huh?
yo, but it just shows like our influence in general. Like, just for example, for for women that, or I said women, for people in general that listen to Meg Thee Stallion, to know that she has influence or that she's interested in anime because she watched anime. You know how many like hood
But you
girls
know
or
what's
ratchet girls
crazy though?
started watching anime because of that?
The Meg
Like,
Thee
yes.
Stallion in anime, she has not proven that to me yet.
Yes, he
That
has
she
not,
really
but
like it.
it's the simple
Like
fact that she does like
she'll
the
do
little,
something small and they be like, oh my god,
yeah,
Meg watching Sailor Moon. She just wore the outfit.
yeah, yeah,
Meg
yeah.
is a passive anime fan.
She
Yeah, we could that
is, and I'm
that's a
like, why do
yeah,
y'all be
that's
so
its own
crazy
little
about her
conversation.
liking anime? Like she literally, she'll post an outfit and then
Like
post a character, and I'm
poser,
like,
poser like shit. Yeah,
this
yeah,
does
it's giving
not
poser
relate.
vibes.
This
It's giving
doesn't
poser
relate.
vibes.
Like, what are you talking about? And people they go crazy over it.
But that even goes to show like how heavy her influence is. We as weebs or we as people who actually are interested in that, we know that it's like run of the like basic ass. Like we know she ain't really into it, but it got the hood people into it.
For a little while. They
That
done.
you
I
Exactly.
think that
still
it's not a permanent
I
thing?
be seeing them in the comments. Y'all weird. You 30 something. You watching anime. You watching cartoon. And Bob posted his 5 favorite anime characters the other day. People were like, it was some people like, oh my god, I didn't know you watch anime. Like
Mm-hmm.
I remember him saying it in the interview because I love him from the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning. I love him. Anything I see him on, I'm watching it. But that's somebody who was themselves. But they were in the comments like, ew, like you watch this, like you're in your 30s, like you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah,
Oh,
it doesn't work on
you just
everybody.
lost me. You just lost me with this. Like, what does this have to do with your music? And I'm like,
What?
he
Oh, that's
could be
wild.
interested in things. And you could
Yeah,
tell he watched because his list, the things that
yeah.
the ones that he picked out, I was like, this nigga really watched, he really
There,
did watch anime.
Another poser that I know of is Michael B. Jordan, and the fact that he had a collab with who was it? Was it Chanel or Louis Vuitton? One of them white people brands. I don't know, but he had a line with them, an anime line, and I'm like, you don't
really?
even. Yeah, he had some collab with them. I was just like, you
Hmm.
don't watch it for real, because he didn't even pronounce Naruto Shippuden correctly. He said Shippuden, and I'm
Yeah,
like, okay,
well,
and it was just like,
I'm not gonna knock him for that because I'm from the South and that's how I pronounce it. Shaboom.
for
I
real.
can't say it like I can't. I literally
Uh-huh.
like I be pronouncing stuff the same way y'all do. It just
Nah, but
doesn't sound like it a lot
it
of the
was like some
times.
basic ass like shit that we should know that he pronounced incorrectly. I can't remember it for verbatim right now, but like it
he's
was
more
given like you could tell he didn't really watch it type
he's
shit.
more of a Dragon Ball fan than anything.
Yeah, yeah. When people be
Okay,
like, "Oh
that makes
yeah, I
sense.
love Dragon Ball," I'm like,
Do you?
"Yeah, not me."
Oh God. I like the
People,
original Dragon Ball. I don't like Dragon Ball Z or G or whatever the fuck. Anything that
That's
comes
what I
after
told
Dragon Ball.
that's what I
but
told Boonie to
I'm
start
talking
with.
about
Start
it
with
as a
Dragon Ball.
whole. Like it never caught me. I'm gonna
But
check it out, but I already know
The
I'm not gonna
original
like it.
Dragon Ball
I
does it. I don't
guarantee
like
you
the other shit.
you'll
I guarantee
but
I won't. I don't like Naruto. I watched that whole series. I hate it.
Oh shit!
I hate that
You
junk.
hated Naruto?
I
Damn!
hated
I
that
never knew
junk.
that about you.
And I was mad that they made me
Why?
watch that whole series and nothing that I wanted to ban my cousin. I'm like, bro,
Mhm.
I can't wait until Naruto finally like beat Sasuke. he gonna have this fight. He gonna show him that like I'm the strongest. Watch that whole series. It never happened. And when I got done, I messaged them immediately, like, bro, y'all are dirty because y'all know the only
Because
reason
y'all
why I
knew.
was
They
watching
knew.
this.
They
Y'all
knew.
know the only reason why I was finishing this junk was to see him beat him finally. And it
And
never
it never
happened.
happened.
I
Yep.
hate that junk. Like I would never. You could tell when I like a series because I watch it over and over again. I
Yeah.
hated Naruto. I'm
Damn.
never watching that junk again.
To be honest, I never
Never.
finished. I never finished the Shippuden, so or Shippuden. I never
That
finished
was
it. But
I
actually
haven't finished it yet
more.
either.
That was actually more. That was better than the first one.
oh yeah, you know, by far, by far, by
It was better.
far.
Those people that try to judge people for stuff like that, I remember I was talking to this girl, right? I still
Mhm.
love wrestling to this day.
I
I'm a
love
big
wrestling.
I'm a
I
big
need to get.
wrestling
I need
fan.
to start back watching it, but I love wrestling.
So I had missed it for a few weeks. I was courting this girl or whatever. I missed it for a few weeks because I was busy. I'm like, dang, I
Right.
haven't watched wrestling in like a month. And she was like, oh, you growing up,
Aw.
you stopping liking wrestling, you coming a man, huh? I said, no, I still like wrestling. What
The
I don't know
fuck?
what you're talking about. I just missed
Literally,
it.
wrestling
Right.
is
She was
grown
waiting for you to be
behind
like,
men
yep.
fighting. What do you mean?
Exactly. Literally, how?
There are
How?
grown people wrestling each other. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Like this is
And there are adults doing worse shit out here. Like, what are you saying?
Like, what are
exactly.
you saying? Like, you sound crazy.
You sound dumb. For real.
Oh man, that's literally funny. Like,
For me, I get the reverse. You like anime? Now you're obsessed with me. I had a dude wanted to cheat on his wife because I
what?
liked it.
You told me about
Because I liked anime, bro.
Oh my god.
Like he literally was like, "Oh my god, like I wish that I knew this." Like, nigga, I never liked you. It didn't matter if you knew or not. We were never going to be together. What is wrong with you?
he thought your mutual
Nah.
interest was like, yes, that's my
Yeah,
key.
no, but
You can
dudes really be thinking that because
They do. They be
yesterday,
so obsessed. It's
yesterday,
weird.
right? Yesterday when I told you I was I went to Korean barbecue with my friend, my dude friends and their friends. So one of the dudes was like, we were all looking at in the restaurant, they were playing music videos by various Korean artists or whatever. And you know, I forgot how we started talking about it, but we started looking at unsavory things on Twitter. So anyway, so I
Well,
was
that's what
like,
Twitter is the home of.
right. So I guess the one of the guys asked me, he was like, um, because I we were all looking at the same thing. I was like, oh, look at the lady. She's doing whatever she was doing. It was nice. I was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, so when you watch these types of things, um, he was like, you watching regular or you watching animated? And I was like, a little bit of, I was like, do I have to choose? He was like, oh, oh, finally a woman of culture. And I'm like, because I
They
watch
be
hentai.
happy. Either they
Because I
be
watch
obsessed
hentai.
or
That's
they like you
yeah,
don't
it's
really like it.
weird.
Like prove it to me. If you like it, tell me.
Exactly.
And
Like,
I'm like, I'm not telling you anything. I'm not proving anything to you.
and that's exactly what he said. He was like, yeah, so what type do you watch? That's inappropriate, sir. I don't know you. What why are we it's one thing, like we're already discussing hentai at the table. So I guess it was okay. But like don't ask me my personal taste because no, you're weird. I don't know you. Like,
Right.
Exactly.
no.
Right.
He's like,
They
yeah,
just
so
be
what type do you watch?
They take
I'm
that
I'd like to
sure
watch what you
I'm
watch.
sure
Like,
it's like 5
ugh.
anime boys that think I'm their girlfriend
Oh God.
because I cosplay and when they tell me they like my pictures, I say thank you.
That's it. God damn. Yeah, no, guys are weird like that. Guys are freaking weird like that. And it's so like, oh, you cosplay? Oh my God. Like, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I only have a couple pictures. I
Bro,
wouldn't consider
the
myself to be a
boys that I
cosplayer,
went
but
to school with, when they started seeing them thing, they was going crazy. Like,
crazy. They're like, I
oh
never
my
knew
God,
you
I
were
know you was
interested
in
in
it.
that.
I know you into
Yeah,
that. Like, cause you niggas never talked to me. How
exactly.
would you have known anything?
for real.
Exactly. now that's leeway for them to talk to you like, oh my God, I've known her all my life,
They
and now I
really
know that
be
she
doing
likes that.
that.
Oh,
And I'm
you
like,
crack the
you
door,
still
they're
don't
gonna
know
bust it
me.
down.
Oh,
You
they
Crack the
still
really
door
be
right.
open.
doing that
You
junk.
still don't know me.
Still don't
Like,
know me, and I still would never date you. Never. You
facts.
never had a chance. What is
And you
wrong
never
with you?
will. And you never will.
Right.
But you thought that this gave you a leeway to ask me questions and confess your love. Boy, get out of here.
Right. Tripping. But anyway, let's move on to the next segment, which is the wealthy health segment with this question. If there was something you could create to give the youth in our community a positive influence, what would it be?
Related to hip hop?
It doesn't have to be related to hip hop. It could be something to kind of like take their attention off of that. Or
Um,
or like show them how to consume it in a different way.
I would write a book. Sorry.
Book is that's cool.
That's my only it's my only answer. Next.
All right,
Uh,
go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
no, I was about to say you go ahead. I would create a community center of arts that focuses on arts, different forms of art or whatever. It would be for creative kids that are creative. I would create a
Mm,
community center, and in that community center, when we do music, when we talk about music, we talk about hip hop and all of those things. I would teach them like how to consume it without getting too caught up. Like, I would talk to
mm,
them about, this is entertainment. Like, I understand that y'all like this, it's entertainment, but you have to look at it like this, or you should look at it like this. Like, show them how to consume it
that makes sense.
a
Yeah.
different way.
I
That's my
like that.
answer.
I think I would do pretty much the same thing. Cultivate their talents, their gifts. Let them have the freedom to express themselves. Kind of like I just finished watching the Tupac documentary, Dear Mama. At the end, they open up facilities called
They finished it.
the
I'm
Thug
sorry for
Matching.
interrupting.
Huh?
No, I said I hate to interrupt, but did they completed it? Like it was start to finish? It was or was it episodic?
It's episodic. It's 5 parts. The last part
Oh,
just came out last night.
oh wow. I have to
It
watch
is
that. Anyway, go
the
ahead. I'm sorry.
best, the best Tupac,
I'm gonna
the
watch it
definitive
too.
Tupac story.
I'm
I
gonna
don't want them
watch
to
it.
do any other movies. No more Tupac content. That was it. I don't know.
Don't
So
even talk about him in interviews because I'm sick of y'all.
I'm
I'm
right,
sick of hearing
sick
them.
of. I
Yeah,
don't
let
believe
this man
nothing none of
rest.
y'all say. I don't believe nothing y'all say
Yo,
about
he's
him.
still alive out there. No, okay, shush. Let
but
him.
the Thug Matching process project was like that. Just having a
Mhm.
space for kids to be able to learn, cultivate their
Nice.
gifts, and all of
Yeah.
that, and then teaching them also teaching them the stuff, fill in the gaps from what the school's doing. You know,
Right,
that's how
Mm,
you
right,
right.
influence because the school don't teach you everything. They don't
School
leave a
does
right,
whole
not teach
bunch
us
of leaves
anything.
out, especially about us.
right.
Art history is literally
And
mangled.
I do feel like our kids need a space where they can learn that. If the parents don't have time, that's what
Yes.
us who don't have kids is for. Like, stop pushing
Yes.
that idea for everybody to have kids. Like, let me help you with your kids instead.
Yes.
Exactly. What you
Stop
know
trying
about
to
having
force
Yes.
kids? I
Stop trying
know
to
them.
force
I
it. Let
know.
me help you with yours instead. And that's how we build our ecosystem back.
Yes. Mm.
But that's
I
my
love both
answer.
of your answers.
Okay. So moving on to the next segment, which is the what would you do segment. We don't have any questions again this week. But don't forget to send your questions if you want advice to socialcyclepod@gmail.com, and we will answer your questions as best as we can. But moving to the last segment, which is the Black Life segment, life living in fear every day. What is something you fear about hip hop culture's influence on the Black community? I'll just
I don't
start with saying I fear of it just getting worse. It just getting worse and things just keep
Mm.
going until it just gets worse and worse. That's my fear.
life
Yeah.
art imitating life imitating art is what comes to mind. It's gonna get worse. These people
Yeah.
are going to go to the extreme, you know, and
I just
it's
saw a
like
video of
it's art.
somebody in the road trying to intimidate people driving their cars, jumping in front of their cars, jumping on top of their cars, just
Mm.
acting a fool. And it was a black
Yeah.
person. It was a young black person.
People going to that extreme, it's just it's going to get worse. Like I'm not afraid of it. I
I
just know
definitely think
I
it's
know what's
Yeah.
gonna happen. It's
same.
already happening.
Fear
All
not
these,
for myself, but for the
Yeah.
community.
yeah, I fear that the kids are gonna be products of this. You know, seeing
Yeah.
people like we knew Pac died when we were
Right.
younger. We knew that Biggie died, but we didn't see it.
We didn't see it.
We didn't
did
see
not.
it. Like you,
That's the
you,
difference.
I try to avoid these videos, and sometimes it's hard. You
Me
just scroll by.
too.
If you see
Yeah.
somebody bleeding out, it's just like I don't want to see this.
Then the
Yeah.
comments just be so
We're
like you're
we're so
literally watching
desensitized by
somebody
it.
dying and
God.
you're rating it. You're rating
Yeah.
how they it's sick.
No, it is. It's very sick. We with it being so commonplace and it being shown all over the place. Like I said, because it's commonplace, we're becoming more and more desensitized to it, and we're raising a generation that is desensitized to situations like that where they they're unable to recognize that this is some stuff that people shouldn't see or that shouldn't be normal,
Right.
you know. And that is the fear that it just, like you said, like it keeps getting worse and worse to a point where they don't know the difference between anything, where it's like just because something is happening doesn't mean it's good for it to be happening.
Right.
Like it's unfortunate, but
And I just feel like artists need to be held accountable. Like y'all are putting this out there for
effects.
people. They do.
Like,
They need to accept accountability, but at the same time, you also got to raise your kids to think for
facts.
themselves. It goes both ways. We all
Yeah,
just need to do our part. That's it.
exactly.
Teach your
Do
kids
our
to be able
part when
to
it comes
Cause
to the
discern.
like
Critical
kids.
thinking is important.
Right.
exactly. Cause a
But a
lot
lot
of
of the
like,
time, the parents act just like the
yeah,
kids.
girl, it's like, oh, don't put this music out there. The kids. Yet y'all don't care enough about kids to have better gun laws and
Yes.
let them stop getting murdered at school, a place that should
Because,
be safe for
bro,
them.
the
Like
amount of kids
what?
that be having guns now is crazy.
The
When we
fact
were
the
coming
fact
up,
that
you would see a gun, you would not
right.
touch it.
It's
We would not touch a gun. We just wouldn't. We just knew
like
better.
over here, it wasn't too long ago in Virginia, this fucking sorry, excuse my language, but this like 6-year-old kid shot his teacher in Virginia.
I think I heard
Like,
about that.
yeah, and
I
now
did hear
the
about that.
6 years, bro. Could
and
you
he
imagine?
and it's what's crazy is that everybody knew something was wrong with the kid. Like something like he wasn't, I don't want to say normal type of kid, but he was the type of kid who had anger issues and that was a problem child. And there was like, he
People
was
don't know how
doing,
to deal with it.
right, he was doing inappropriate things before on the playground, like not even
At
just like in,
6, bro?
yeah, doing inappropriate things at school. Like, apparently he was touching this girl inappropriately on the playground. And like he would
That
do
happened
things
when we
like
was in
that,
school, so
A
just
lot
yeah.
of
doing
times
that.
this behavior goes unchecked, and that's why things with everybody wants to get on the news afterwards.
Mhm.
I'm just so surprised that they
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
like they ignore it. It's like I
And
don't know how to do because the people don't know how to deal with kids when they're
right.
like that. They don't know how to deal with it.
But that the thing about that particular kid was that he was supposed to
Because
be
sometimes you can. They ain't gonna listen to you.
he was supposed to
Sometimes.
be he was supposed to be not suspended, but he was supposed to be on leave. Like he wasn't like not on timeout perspective, like okay, so kind of like a suspension, but
Right.
his parents brought him to school anyway, and like the principal
Mm.
and his teachers were telling him like, yo, like he needs to be punished, something has to give, like. But one day, and he told his friends apparently on the playground like, ooh, y'all make me so mad, I'm gonna come and shoot this place up. And the next day he shot his teacher, and they asked him, they're like, yeah, he with all of his heart, I mean, a kid is still a kid, so who knows like what's
Nah,
truly going on in his head. But
they giving birth to demons these
And
days.
he
It
said
don't be just
exactly,
kids.
and he legit said like, yeah, no, I did intend on shooting her. Yes, I meant what I did.
They fully
And now
no, I'm telling you,
the
like,
the mom is finally being held responsible, and the
because
teacher
I'm
is
pretty
suing
sure
the
she
fucking
one of
school
those
system.
parents that's like,
Hmm.
As she should be held accountable.
she's
Yeah,
one of those type of parents that they approve of that young. They don't correct their kids. They show
of
them
course,
this
but
lifestyle because they date these men that are like that. The
of
kids
course,
see that.
she left the gun unattended. She was like, "Oh, I don't know how he got it." She claimed that she locked it up, but I'm like, "How?" So they asked her to bring like the lock box that she keeps it in, and the box that she keeps it in is literally a shoebox on top of her dresser, like in the top of a closet. You think he can't come and get, as he probably did, most likely, got some stool or
What
and got
happens?
and picked it up.
What
Like,
happens
come
to
on now.
just watching your parents porn?
Like, yeah, what happened to like
What
you just
happened to
misbehaving in a normal way? Like,
Shit, I
what
didn't even.
happened to just
Shit,
watching
I didn't even do
porn?
that. I didn't even do
God dang it.
that.
Y'all mess with guns. Like, I would never touch a
I
gun.
would never.
And it's because,
The
and
thing-
not only because you're afraid of it, but because, like, even as a kid, I knew if somebody got a gun, that means that they're willing to kill somebody. They could have already killed somebody. I'm not about to touch it. I'm not going to put my prints on it.
Fingerprints,
If
right?
something happened,
And you're thinking this as a
I'll
child
get it.
too.
Yeah,
So just
as a
imagine,
kid.
right? Yeah, kids these days they're not, like I said, they think that, I don't know if they think
They're
that
not
things are a
aware.
fantasy,
They're
but
not
like,
aware of the consequences
exactly.
of what happens when you do things like this, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah,
They need to be exposed to that more. They're exposed more to the violence rather than the consequences of the
exactly.
violence.
Yep. Because like it's not like GTA where like you shoot somebody and then the next
And
game
yeah, you
they
good.
wake up.
Nah,
I
you
think
go
No.
I
to jail.
I think a lot of
Or
those
somebody
kids
dies for real.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
they
they
ain't
don't
getting back up.
they don't understand the finality of death. A lot of
they
kids don't.
don't.
Exact.
They
Yes.
don't.
You
And
worded it perfectly.
But
They
at
do
the
not
same
understand
time,
that.
do adults understand
Adults
it? Because
adults with guns don't understand that either. Yep.
they're so stuck on the afterlife and getting another chance to do things. Sometimes people will say you only die once, but I don't think they believe that for real.
Mm. I mean,
They'll say that adults don't
being a Christian,
understand
of
it.
course they don't.
They don't. They have this idea that I'm going to get another chance, and if that's being taught to the kids, because back then when they would say that stuff, I'm like, bro, you dead, you dead.
You dead.
exactly it.
You
Ain't no
dead.
coming back from
That's
that.
it. They ain't no
My
coming
nigga, you're
back.
dead. And I don't care about coming back. Why do y'all care about this so much?
It,
That ain't my business. If I ain't supposed to come back,
then
that's between me and God. That ain't my business. I ain't worrying about that right now.
right. Yeah, yeah, nobody understands the finality of death
Nobody does.
anymore.
They say they do, they don't. Because they think, oh, like God is all of this stuff is gonna happen, but after God is just gonna come and he's just gonna take all of this away, then we have peace and we can all live. And I feel like that fantasy is being sold.
The hardest part about that for me to believe is if we have these same minds that we have now,
Mm.
It's gonna happen all again.
how is it gonna be a new heaven and a new earth?
It's gonna happen all again, always.
What is to prevent this from happening again? We have these same minds. Nothing's changed.
Right, nothing's changed.
Always, and it's always going to be like this. I don't understand why humans they're so stuck on that, like this Eden, this peace. Like we're humans. It's in human nature to be destructive. There are
Facts.
some of us who aren't, but there
Yeah.
are more of us who are.
Yep.
That's just the reality. But like people,
Nah.
nobody, we don't live in reality. We live in fantasy, especially because of social media. Like niggas be sitting watching each other get killed and stuff, and they see it, like you said, Shay,
Yeah.
GTA.
Yeah. It's They be thinking that
Let's
they
see
can
who can
have
come up
five
with the
stars.
best joke.
Right.
Everybody under they joking, and let's who can come up with the best joke for this death. Y'all are sick.
That's sick as fuck. Especially like, I mean, this is slightly not this is nowhere near the same, but like I don't understand prank culture either.
Me
Like
neither. That's
you
sick
walking up on
too.
strangers doing some weirdo shit. You don't know what the next person's capable of. And speaking of pranksters, there was one story where this guy was he's a YouTuber. I didn't know him, but he pulled this prank on this guy who had clearly just had enough and just he ended up shooting him. Luckily the YouTuber is still alive, but like, bruh,
Yeah,
you don't know what
no,
you
and
don't know
not
what type
just
of day
that,
somebody's
Shaya.
having.
They fake stuff. They fake things that happen in their lives to get attention. They
Yep.
fake a lot, and these kids are watching these people because they have kids, and they're using their kids to suck other
Mm-hmm.
people's kids in.
Mm-hmm.
They fake all of this drama, and they're all getting paid for it. Like nothing is real
Mm-hmm.
anymore. Like not even YouTube. Once upon a time, you could sit on there and you can learn so many things. I've learned so many things from YouTube, but then you have that other side of it where it's like acting, but it's like
Yeah.
in real life, and like you said, prank culture. It is sick too.
I didn't know
I
how
am
bad it
not marrying a man who gonna hit me in the face with a
was.
pie for views. I'm not being with
Facts.
nobody like that. That's
I didn't
abusive.
Sorry.
I don't care how you look
Or
at it.
like
It's abusive.
or like marrying somebody and then oh he did something to you like and you prank him by like destroying his PS5.
Yeah, that's not fun. That stuff is not funny. Y'all
Like
are sick.
I paid $600 for it. Like what are you mad? Are you crazy? Or she threw his
I
PS5
just
in the
destroyed his
pool.
TV. I just destroyed his PS5. You are
You're
sick in
sick.
your head, bro.
I didn't
Just for
know how
fucking
serious it
views.
was and like how prevalent it was until my nephew was on YouTube and I'm just like all of these videos and they're just like it's some sick stuff. You messing with people. It's not funny
it's
to
not
hurt
funny.
people. It's not
Yeah.
funny to hurt somebody's feelings and make them cry. It's not funny.
To pretend that, like
Right.
even the parents like pretend that they're fighting each other and the kid is there and he's
It's watching them.
hysterical.
Yep.
That's
That's sick.
traumatic.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing in front of y'all kids? It's not funny.
Because even there was one prank where this guy went to like a Target and somebody's buying like groceries or whatever. And so he's bagging his groceries and putting it in back in the cart. The dude took the cart and like ran away with it. And the guy's standing there, like he starts crying and he starts like running after him, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, nah, these are my groceries now. Ha ha ha. And he starts running off. And the guy literally like has a panic attack right there. And it's like,
Because
because
how
you
do
don't
you
you,
react to something like that?
yeah, that's your money. Like that's your money going down the drain.
You
You
Like
gonna
you
don't
literally
these people
buying food for your
all the people
family.
gonna fuck around and find out with those things. Like
find
you
out.
gonna give it
That's
the
what I
wrong
said. That boy
Steal
person.
got
my
shot.
groceries. I ain't gonna
Please.
run
Right.
after you. I'm gonna get in that car and I'm gonna run you over, steal my
It,
groceries and run
but
that's
that's what I said. That boy got shot because
It
that
was a joke.
he
It was
fucked
a
with some
joke.
guy.
Well, this
I
is a
don't
joke
care.
too. Ha ha.
Right. Running
Because
you
that
right
boy,
over.
he that's what he did to that guy who shot him. He took his grocery bag. He was buying whatever. Took that nigga grocery bag and tried to run off. That nigga said, "Stop, stop!" Like, cause he kept bothering. He was like, "Hey, sir, blah blah blah," just doing weird stuff like taking his hat and so he kept telling him, "Stop, stop." And so he took the grocery bag that he had and tried to run off with it, and he shot him. Like, fuck around and really find out, dude. Like, some people are not
That's
having that type of
especially
day.
especially in the South.
Bruh,
Bruh, niggas
that's
been
where it happened. It
told
happened in
bro in
Texas.
the South, they
It
got them
happened in
gun. They
Texas.
Oh,
always got a gun on. They
they
always
got a
got a
strap
gun
on them.
on them. Always keep playing
Exactly.
with people.
And they tried to when the story released, everybody of course was like, "Oh, he's terrible
He
for
shouldn't have
shooting him."
did that. He shouldn't have shot him.
Right. But the dude playing around like doing the pranks, you fuck around and you found out. And of course they spoke to his dad and they got a statement from his dad. He was like, "Oh, he wouldn't do that. He's such a good kid. I don't know what." No. And they pulled a
And you know why? Because the parents be living off of those
right.
kids. That's
And so
sick too.
they pulled a catalog of all his videos and what he be doing to people. And they were like, "Yes, so is your son really innocent now?" And he was like, "Well,
He's
he
just
knows
a
better. He should have."
kid.
Yeah, exactly. Like boy, no, you as the father, you're a terrible dad if you're
They
letting this
do, but
dude
they be
go
living
out
off of them
there.
kids. They be seeing
Yep,
how much money they make off of YouTube, and they let them do
exactly.
anything they want to do. Because
Yep.
I've watched the Taylor girls for a long time because they used to prank their parents. The prank started off just being funny stuff like, "Oh, my mom is is afraid of lizards. I'm gonna get a lizard and not throw it on her. I'm gonna just get one and bring it in the house." She mad.
Right.
They started they went from there to burning each other's shoes
Oh
to
hell no.
putting live animals in the shower. Like I saw
No,
one of them
no.
put a
That's when I slap
snake
you. I'm
or
sorry.
some type of little
Nope.
some Komodo dragon, one of them junks in the
Hell
shower
no.
with the sister. She literally broke the glass getting out of that. She could have died.
Oh hell no.
She
Hell
came
fucking
right
no.
through the glass and it just shattered. And also, you're destroying people's property. That's why they
Property.
don't want to
Yep.
give us nothing. You're destroying these apartments and stuff with these pranks.
Exactly.
That's crazy. I stopped watching them because it was ridiculous. Like, what are y'all
What are
doing?
y'all doing? Yep.
Y'all doing too much now.
But that's how they get their check, I guess. So, like, I would never understand prank culture. Like, how do you go
Yeah, that junk
out
is
and
crazy.
intentionally ruin somebody's day? Or like the pranks that really be killing me is when white kids go in the hood and they
Oh
walk up to some people,
yeah.
walk up to black
I
people and
see the
start
old
saying
block
nigga or some
pranks. They
shit.
go to old block, and I'm like, bro. And you
Yo,
know
y'all
what's
doing it in the
crazy?
wrong city, dog.
You know what's crazy? More than likely, a white person could do that and they come out alive. But if it's a
Yep,
black person,
of course.
you will not.
Cause like, bruh, they were doing that shit. I'm like, y'all gonna fuck around and
Also, the
find
ones
out.
with the wife and the husband doing that crazy stuff, because it's this couple that the husband got this blow up mat, this pool or whatever, made it look like a bed. He put the water in it. He put the sheets and stuff on it to make it look like it was a bed. She went and laid down and laid in thing. Bruh, divorce immediately. I'm not
Divorce.
staying with nobody. I'm not staying with nobody who would do something
Who
like
does
that
that
to
to you?
me.
Yeah. Or no, I saw one where the husband, instead of and this is when, no, it was the wife who did it. Instead of shampoo, she put Nair in his shampoo bottle. Hell fucking no. I'm killing you. I'm sorry. No, no,
Like,
no, no.
that's
Nair,
abuse. Pranks
his
like that
hair,
are abusive. I don't care
his
what
hair
nobody
started
say.
falling out. He was scared. And he was just like, oh my God, my hair's falling out. And she was like, I
And a
put
lot
Nair
of
in
the
there.
times, the pranks be fake, but a lot of times they don't.
Dog,
They do
I
not be
don't
fake.
care. Fake or not, you do that shit to me, we're divorcing. And
Yeah,
you're not,
I'm
I'm
never
sending
gonna
you to
be with
jail.
nobody who would pie me, who would put a pie in my face.
Cause why?
This
Cause
stuff is
why?
not funny. It's very
It's not.
unhealthy.
It's
You out here
unhealthy.
scarring people. You out here hurting kids. I hate the ones that I hate the most are
The
the
one
ones
with the
where they
kids, I
the one
hate it.
where they do something to the kids and the kids crying.
And they think it's funny,
Oh, the
or
kid be
You're
terrified.
traumatizing your own children.
you shove a toy in their face afterwards does not make up for that.
Right. Or you buying something after that, like, no, buying something for them afterwards, like, oh, I'm gonna get you McDonald's. No, the scar is still there. Like, what? What's wrong with you?
Now that kid is always on edge.
Exactly. You really creating unhealthy habits for him. Like he's always gonna be
Grow up and
paranoid.
become anxiety and have anxiety real bad. Like it's just
It's
ridiculous.
sick. I don't understand that culture. Like just doing something to another person simply because you think that that's funny.
To
It's not
humiliate
funny,
them.
dog.
Because
I
humiliation
hate
is
it.
abuse. Humiliation is a form of abuse.
Abuse. Yes.
Intentional humiliation is abusive.
Like I don't understand it. If they didn't consent to it, that shit ain't funny.
Even if they
No.
do, like it's just crazy. We
Like
could
I
go
don't
on this for
yeah.
days. Like
Cause this shit is
uh
trash.
Yes.
we could go on for days. But we're gonna end this episode right here. Thank y'all for joining me for this episode. I thought, we had a lot of great points. Thanks everybody out there for watching. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think about everything that we talked about. And we will see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.